Welcome to World of Coins. You could be holding a $500,000 fortune in your pocket right now. Check your old Barber Half Dollars before it's too late. Top 1. Just picture it. A stunning $half over a century old, its surface gleaming with history, minted in New Orleans at the turn of the 20th century. The delicate portrait of liberty on the front, the majestic eagle on the reverse. But what makes this coin different isn't just its beauty, it's its scarcity. Out of the millions minted that year, only a handful of true survivors exist today in mint state condition, and each one is worth a fortune. The Barber Half Dollar was designed by Charles E. Barber, the chief engraver of the U.S. Mint, and circulated from 1892 to 1915. The 1900 version, struck at the legendary New Orleans Mint, marked the dawn of a new century. But what happened next would make it one of the hardest coins to find in top condition. Back in 1900, the nation was booming, trade was exploding, and half dollars were in heavy circulation. Most of these coins were used daily, worn down in pockets, purses, and cash registers across America's growing cities. The humid southern climate of New Orleans didn't help either. It destroyed countless coins before collectors even had a chance to save them. Today, surviving examples of the 1900 Barber Half Dollar in pristine mint state condition are almost non-existent. Even the U.S. Mint's own archives show limited records of original rolls surviving. In fact, when coin historian David Lawrence studied the series, he called the 1900 one of the toughest mint state Barber halves ever produced. A true ghost of American numismatics. In the world of coin collecting, rarity meets passion, and that's where the 1900 truly shines. While most Barber halves can be found for a few $100s in circulated grades, the 1900 in certified MS-65 or higher commands staggering demand. Collectors fight tooth and nail for these, especially those seeking to complete high-end Barber sets. To put it into perspective, an MS-60, for example, might already exceed several $1,000s. But jump just one grade higher, and you're entering a realm of elite collecting where prices explode exponentially. Compare that to a 1901S or a 1896 both famously scarce, yet the 1900 still stands out due to its near-impossible survival rate in gem condition. Every serious Barber collector dreams of finding one, and when it surfaces, auctions erupt in bidding wars that make headlines across the hobby. So, how much is this coin really worth today? In a verified auction by Stack's Bowers, a 1900 Barber Half Dollar graded MS-67 by PCGS stunned the market when it sold for a breathtaking $111,625. That's right, over $111,000 for a single $half coin. This wasn't a fluke. Collectors recognize that this level of preservation is almost impossible, making every mint state 1900 an American treasure worth protecting. If you're a coin collector, keep your eyes open, because treasures like the 1900 Barber Half Dollar can still appear in estate collections, old family coin jars, or forgotten safes. Always check for that tiny, mint mark below the eagle's tail feathers. It might just change your life. And if you love learning about the rarest and most valuable U.S. coins, make sure to subscribe right now and turn on the bell, because every week we reveal real auction prices, expert collector tips, and the hidden stories behind America's greatest coins. You never know which one could be sitting right in your pocket. Top 2. Imagine finding what looks like an ordinary 50-cent coin, something you might toss in a drawer, drop in a tip jar, or overlook in your change, only to discover it's worth thousands of dollars. That's right. A simple 1967 Kennedy half dollar with no mint mark could secretly be one of the most valuable modern U.S. coins ever struck. At first glance, it looks completely normal. President John F. Kennedy's proud profile on the front, the majestic presidential seal on the back. But what most people don't realize is that this particular year hides one of the greatest mysteries in American coin history. The 1967 Kennedy half dollar wasn't struck at just one mint. It had no mint mark at all, and that tiny missing detail has made it a legend among collectors. Back in the mid-1960s, the United States was in the middle of a coin crisis. Silver prices were rising fast, and Americans were hoarding every silver coin they could find. The U.S. Mint had to make a bold decision. Between 1965 and 1967, it completely removed all mint marks to discourage hoarding and make production faster. That's why the 1967 Kennedy half dollar carries no D for Denver or S for San Francisco, just the date and nothing more. But that decision created a hidden world of rare variations and high-quality special strikes that collectors crave today. The 1967 half dollar was made of 40% silver, the last era of silver half dollars before America switched to base metals. Most of these coins were heavily circulated, scratched, and dulled over time, but a very rare few, were struck on special polished dies for the U.S. Mint's Special Mint Sets, or SMS coins. These versions have brilliant mirror-like fields, sharp frosty details, and a deep cameo contrast that separates them from anything you'll ever find in your pocket change. And here's where things get truly exciting. One of the finest 1967 no-mint mark Kennedy half dollars ever discovered, graded specimen 68 by PCGS, sold at auction for an astonishing $4,812. Another stunning example, graded specimen 67 cameo, brought over $2,600. Imagine turning 50 cents into thousands. That's the power of rarity, history, and condition in the world of coin collecting. Even ordinary circulated 1967 halves hold value because of their silver content. Each one contains almost 1/5 of an ounce of pure silver. But for collectors, the real treasure lies in pristine, uncirculated, or special mint strike examples with strong cameo contrast and flawless luster. If you ever come across one of these coins, don't spend it, protect it, authenticate it, and consider having it graded by PCGS or NGC to verify its true worth. So how can you find one of these hidden gems? Start by checking old family coin collections, mint and proof sets from the 1960s, or estate sales that include sealed U.S. Mint envelopes. Look closely at the surface. True SMS coins have an almost glassy, reflective background with sharply frosted designs of Kennedy's face and the eagle on the reverse. These features can mean the difference between a 50-cent coin and a multi-thousand-dollar payday. Collectors love the 1967 Kennedy half dollar not only for its silver and rarity but for what it represents. A piece of American history, struck during a time of change, honoring a president who inspired a nation. While many half dollars from the 1960s are common, the high-grade 1967 no-mint mark specimens are true treasures. Modern masterpieces that remind us that even everyday coins can hold extraordinary value. So the next time you come across a Kennedy half dollar, take a closer look. You might be holding a forgotten piece of American history worth more than you ever imagined. Check the date, check the shine, and if you see 1967 with no mint mark and that stunning mirror finish, hold on tight. You might have just found your own small fortune. And if you love discovering the rarest and most valuable coins in U.S. history, make sure to subscribe right now and tap the bell icon, because every week we reveal real auction prices, expert collector secrets, and the hidden treasures that could be sitting in your own pocket change. Your next coin could be the one that changes everything. Top 3. At first glance, it's nothing unusual. The familiar portrait of President John F. Kennedy graces the front. The majestic presidential seal spreads its wings across the back. But this particular half dollar hides a story few people know. For a coin minted in 1973 to have no mint mark, something extraordinary had to happen at the U.S. Mint, and that's exactly what makes it one of the most sought-after modern rarities in American numismatic history. To understand why, we have to go back to the early 1970s, when the Kennedy half dollar was still a popular coin in circulation. By 1971, the mint had already removed silver from the half dollar, switching to a copper-nickel-clad composition. Most of these coins were minted at Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, but in 1973, no Kennedy half dollars were released for circulation at all. They were only made for collector mint sets and proof sets. So, finding a 1973 half dollar with no mint mark in circulation should have been impossible. Yet, A handful of mysterious no-mint mark coins somehow escaped into the public, baffling experts and thrilling collectors. The Philadelphia Mint, which produced coins without a mint mark, struck a limited number of 1973 Kennedy half dollars intended strictly for collector sets. But occasionally, a few pieces from these sets, or from experimental test strikes, slipped out into circulation, creating a hidden treasure that's nearly impossible to find today. This is why the 1973 no-mint mark Kennedy half dollar has become such a numismatic phenomenon. It represents a minting anomaly, a mistake that turned into money-making magic for anyone lucky enough to discover one. Collectors love the 1973 Kennedy half dollar because it sits at the intersection of modern history and minting mystery. While typical 1973D and 1973S coins are common, the Philadelphia no-mint mark examples in top condition are highly sought after. And when you combine rarity with condition, prices climb into shocking territory. In one verified auction, a flawless 1973 Kennedy half dollar graded MS-67 by PCGS sold for an incredible $1,520. Another superbly preserved example graded MS-66 brought close to $900. And special proof strikes from 1973 with deep cameo contrast have sold for even more, reaching over $1,200 at top-tier auctions. Now, imagine the thrill of finding one of these coins in perfect condition, no scratches, brilliant luster, razor-sharp details, a coin that looks like it just rolled off the minting press. That's what serious collectors are chasing, and it's why high-grade 1973 Kennedy halves command massive attention in the marketplace. The difference between an average coin worth a few dollars and a gem example worth thousands often comes down to eye appeal, flawless surfaces, and expert certification. If you're hunting for one of these treasures, here's what to look for. The 1973 no-mint mark Kennedy half dollar will show no letter under Kennedy's neck on the obverse. That's where the mint mark normally appears. Check the surfaces carefully. A genuine mint strike should have crisp details in Kennedy's hair and the eagle's feathers on the reverse. Look for coins with full luster, minimal wear, and ideally, have them authenticated by a trusted grading company like PCGS or NGC to confirm authenticity and value. You can find potential examples in old U.S. mint sets, inherited coin collections, or estate sales where unopened mint packaging might still be hiding rare gems. Many of the rarest 1973 halves have surfaced this way, tucked away for decades, forgotten in drawers or boxes, waiting for someone who knows what to look for. The Kennedy half dollar isn't just a coin, it's a symbol of American pride, minted in memory of a president who changed history. And the 1973 no-mint mark version represents one of the most fascinating minting stories of modern times. While millions of half dollars from the 1970s remain common, the few no-mint mark 1973 examples continue to capture the imagination of collectors and investors alike. Proof that even in modern coinage, incredible rarities still exist. So, check your collections, your coin jars, and your inherited mint sets. Because you never know when one of these elusive 1973 no-mint mark Kennedy half dollars might appear. It's a coin that proves modern money can still hold extraordinary secrets and astonishing value. And if you love discovering the rarest and most valuable coins in U.S. history, make sure you subscribe right now and tap that notification bell. Because every week, we uncover real auction results, expert collector tips, and hidden treasures that could be waiting in your very own pocket change. You never know, your next discovery might be worth more than you ever imagined. Top 4. Imagine finding what looks like an ordinary 50-cent piece from your change jar, a simple coin dated 1977, only to discover it could secretly be worth thousands of dollars. This isn't just a collector's fantasy, this is a true story about one of the rarest and most valuable modern American coins ever minted. The 1977 Kennedy half dollar with no mint mark. At first glance, it appears just like every other Kennedy half dollar, the bold, proud portrait of President John F. Kennedy on the front, and the striking image of the presidential seal on the back. But hidden in plain sight is a detail that makes this coin one of the most intriguing mysteries in modern coin collecting. The 1977 Kennedy half dollar with no mint mark wasn't supposed to exist, and yet a few of these elusive pieces have surfaced, sending shockwaves through the numismatic world. To understand why this coin is so special, let's go back to the late 1970s, a time when the Kennedy half dollar was still being produced in massive quantities. By 1977, the mint had switched to copper-nickel clad composition, no more silver, just base metal meant for circulation. The Philadelphia Mint, which struck coins without a mint mark, produced millions of these halves. But what sets it true? No mint mark. Rarity apart are the details in its finish, its striking quality, and the mysterious errors that slipped through the cracks. In 1977, coins from the Philadelphia Mint were supposed to have a clear and consistent look. But in a few extraordinary cases, minting errors, test strikes, or special die varieties created Kennedy half dollars that looked dramatically different, sharper details, deeper luster, and mirror-like fields. These unusual no-mint mark coins have become the holy grail for collectors who chase perfection and rarity in modern U.S. coinage. And here's where the story gets even more incredible. Among the few known examples that have surfaced, some were found to have extraordinary proof-like qualities, possibly struck on polished dies meant for special collector sets. Because of this, certain 1977 no-mint mark Kennedy half dollars in ultra-high grades have sold for unbelievable prices. One spectacular example graded MS67 by PCGS sold for a jaw-dropping $1,320. Another high-grade specimen graded MS66 fetched over $900 at auction. And in the top condition known, with flawless luster and perfect strike, this coin has been valued at more than $1,500. Think about that. A 50-cent piece worth over $1,000 simply because of its condition, rarity, and minting mystery. This is what makes coin collecting so fascinating. The idea that ordinary coins in your collection, your change, or your family's keepsake box might be far more valuable than anyone realizes. Collectors today are obsessed with the Kennedy half dollar series because it combines beauty, history, and American pride. But within that series, the 1977 no-mint mark coins have achieved legendary status. When compared to other dates like the 1970D or the 1964D silver versions, this modern rarity stands out as one of the most surprising and least expected treasures in circulation. If you want to search for one yourself, here's how to spot the signs of a valuable 1977 Kennedy half dollar. Look closely under Kennedy's neck on the front of the coin. That's where the mint mark should appear. If there's no letter, that means it came from the Philadelphia Mint. But here's the key: condition is everything. Look for coins with full luster, sharp hair details, and clean, mirror-like fields without scratches or dull surfaces. These features separate a common half dollar worth 50 cents from one that could fetch hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Your best chances of finding one of these gems come from old bank rolls, estate coin collections, or U.S. mint sets from the 1970s. Many families bought collector sets decades ago and tucked them away, and some of those sets might still contain a rare, high-grade no-mint mark Kennedy half dollar just waiting to be rediscovered. The Kennedy half dollar isn't just another coin. It's a piece of American heritage, honoring a president whose legacy still inspires the nation. And the rare 1977 no-mint mark variety reminds us that even in modern times, rare treasures can still emerge from the most unexpected places. So check your change, your collections, and your old mint sets, because you might be holding a small piece of history that's worth far more than its face value. And if you love learning about the rarest and most valuable U.S. coins, make sure to subscribe right now and turn on that notification bell. Every week, we uncover real auction prices, collector secrets, and hidden treasures that could be sitting right in your own home. Don't miss the next episode. Your next discovery could be worth thousands. Top 5. Imagine pulling out what looks like an ordinary 50-cent piece, a simple 1979 Kennedy half dollar, and realizing it could secretly be worth thousands of dollars. That's right, one of the most fascinating and valuable modern coins ever discovered is the 1979 Kennedy half dollar with no mint mark, a mysterious piece that has stunned collectors and continues to rise in value every year. At first glance, it appears like any other half dollar, the bold, elegant profile of President John F. Kennedy on the front and the proud American eagle spreading its wings on the reverse. But what makes this particular coin extraordinary is not just its design, it's what's missing. The 1979 Kennedy half dollar with no mint mark is a striking reminder that even modern US coins can hold incredible secrets, and hidden treasures are still out there waiting to be found. To understand just how rare this coin truly is, let's rewind to the late 1970s, a time when the Kennedy half dollar was still being struck in massive numbers. By 1979, the US Mint had fully transitioned to a copper-nickel clad composition, no silver, just everyday metal, and most Americans barely noticed these coins anymore. Circulation was slowing, half dollars were vanishing from cash drawers, and the Mint only produced them at Philadelphia and Denver for general use, and at San Francisco for collector-proof sets. But occasionally, something remarkable slipped through the cracks, a special strike, a minting error, or an unusually well-preserved no-mint mark example that would later shock the collecting world. The 1979 Kennedy half dollar with no mint mark was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, and while that might sound ordinary, what makes certain examples so valuable are the incredible conditions in which they were struck. A handful display exceptional sharpness, brilliant luster, and even proof-like surfaces that rival special mint strikes. These rare no-mint mark pieces, when discovered in pristine condition, have been certified as MS67 or higher, and that's where the real value comes in. Collectors across the country have chased these high-grade Philadelphia coins for decades, and the prices they've fetched are jaw-dropping. In one verified auction, a 1979 no-mint mark Kennedy half dollar graded MS67 by PCGS sold for an unbelievable $1,520. Another stunning example graded MS66 brought nearly $1,000, proving that even a coin most people overlook can carry incredible hidden value. And those top-grade examples with perfect luster and flawless surfaces, they remain the holy grail for modern coin enthusiasts. The reason behind this coin's rarity lies in its survival. Most 1979 Kennedy half dollars were heavily circulated, tossed into change, spent at stores, and worn down over decades. Very few survived in uncirculated condition, and even fewer remained perfectly struck and preserved. That's why collectors place such enormous value on finding one in mint state condition, because time and circulation destroyed nearly all the rest. If you want to search for one yourself, here's what to look for. Examine the front of the coin, just below Kennedy's neck. That's where a mint mark would normally appear. If there's no letter there, it means it was struck at the Philadelphia Mint. Now check the condition. You're looking for a coin with deep luster, minimal scratches, sharp details in Kennedy's hair, and strong definition on the eagle's feathers. Coins with mirror-like surfaces or proof-like appearance are especially valuable and should always be authenticated by grading services like PCGS or NGC to confirm their quality and authenticity. These coins often show up in unexpected places, in old coin jars, forgotten mint sets, or estate collections where someone may have tucked away a pristine 1979 half dollar decades ago. Many of the most valuable examples were found in original US mint sets that had never been opened, waiting quietly for the right collector to recognize their worth. The Kennedy half dollar holds a special place in American history, not just as a piece of money, but as a tribute to a president whose legacy still shines brightly. And the 1979 no-mint mark version stands as proof that even in the modern era, rare treasures can emerge when you least expect them. While millions of Kennedy halves were made, the few surviving in perfect, no-mint mark condition have become prized possessions worth their weight in gold, literally turning pocket change into profit. So, check your coins, your family collections, and any old US mint sets you might have hidden away. You could be holding one of these elusive 1979 no-mint mark Kennedy half dollars, a coin that transforms everyday metal into a rare and valuable piece of American history. And if you love discovering the rarest and most valuable coins in US history, make sure to subscribe right now and turn on the notification bell. Every week, we reveal real auction prices, expert collector secrets, and the incredible stories behind America's most valuable coins. You never know, your next discovery could be worth thousands of dollars.